For this video, we were going to study about the integers and absolute value. But first, we need to identify what are integers. So when we say integers are like whole numbers with a negative numbers. So pag sinabi nating whole numbers, walang decimal, walang fraction, na may kasamang negative numbers. Ma'am, ano ba yung negative numbers? Okay. So, pag sinabi natin negative numbers, so as we can see here in a number line, all the number lines on your left side, that is the negative. So, as we can see, we have here negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and so on. Next, we have here on your right side, we call that one as the positive integers. On another term, that is the whole numbers, or in another term, that is the counting numbers. So, pag sinabi natin counting numbers, yun yung nag-isimula sa 1, sa 2, sa 3, hanggang sa dulo ng number. Eh, ma'am, ano yung 0? Anong sign po niyan? It's either positive or it's either negative. Eh, ma'am, magagamit ba natin yan? Ba't pa kailangan nating i-discuss? Yes, we can use integers in our real life. Ma'am, ano po ba yung mga example? Okay, so we have here in weight. Okay? So, first picture that we have, he lost 2 kilos. Ma'am, paano natin i-represent ang integers yan? Okay. So, as we can see, the word loss, that is your clue word. So, pag sinabi nating loss, is it negative or is it a positive number? Okay, so that is a negative number. So, we were going to indicate or denoted this one as negative 2 kilos. Okay, next picture that we have is this one. He gained 4 kilos. From the red or the clue word that we have, we indicated the word gain. Ibig sabihin, that is a positive number. Okay, tumaas. Mataas yung number. So, we're going to denote this one as positive 4 or just simple as 4 kilos. Pwedeng may sign, pwedeng walang sign. Next example that we have is in temperature. Ito yung pinakagamit na gamit sa integers, yung in temperature. So, first picture that we have is the coffee at 79 degrees Celsius above 0 degrees Celsius. So, from the word above, ibig sabihin ba niyan negative? Ibig sabihin ba niyan positive? Okay. So, that is a positive number. So, dahil positive number yan, ang above, so we were going to denote or represent the situation as positive 79 degrees Celsius. Another example in temperature that we have is an ice cream at 14 degrees Celsius below 0 degrees Celsius. From the word below, ano ang i-indicate natin dyan? Is it positive or is it negative number? Okay, that is a negative number. So, we're going to represent the situation as negative 14 degrees Celsius. Okay, next example that we have is in money. So, as we can see, a monk withdraw of 300 pesos. So, pag sinabi natin withdrawal or withdraw, kumukuha. So, as a picture, nagbabawas tayo ng pera. So, we can denote or we can represent withdrawal of 300 pesos is negative 300. Another example is a bank deposit of 1,000 pesos. So, pag sinabi natin deposit, nagdadagdag tayo. So, we can denote or we can represent the situation as a positive 1,000. Ma'am, wala pong sign yung 1,000. Okay lang po ba yun? Yes. Pwedeng walang sign pag sinabi natin positive. Eh ma'am, paano sa negative? Pag tinanggal ko po ba yung negative sign, okay lang po ba yun? Of course, hindi po. Ang ating negative number or negative sign numbers dapat ay lagi kasama ang negative. Kasi pag yan ay tinanggal, automatically, we understand that one is a positive integers. Okay, next. Sea level. Pag sinabi natin sea level, it is on top of the water, on top of the sea. So, for example that we have is Mount Everest is 8.8 kilometers above sea level. So, ganun kataas yung Mount Everest mula sa sea level. So, how we're going to denote or how we're going to represent this 8.8 kilometer above sea level? So, from the word above, so we're going to use the positive integer. So, we represent this one as 8.8. Another example, the Mariana Trench is 10.8 kilometer under the sea level. Ma'am, meron pong mountain under the sea? Yes po, and that is the Mariana Trench. So we can represent this one because from the word under, we use this one as negative 10.8. Is that clear? Okay, next. So stairs on our elevator. So going up 3 floors. So going up, ibig sabihin pataas. So dahil nandiyan na yung pinaka-clue word pataas, is it positive or is it negative? Correct. That is a positive number. So dahil positive number siya, how we're going to represent going up in 3 floors? Okay, that is 3 or we can use positive 3. Another example that we have, going down 3 floors. So down, pababa, mas mababa. So is it positive or is it negative? Correct. That is a negative number. So we're going to represent the situation as negative 3. Is that clear? Okay. So let's proceed to next topic that we have. That is additive inverse. When we say additive inverse, these are the numbers that are the same distance from 0 but an opposite side are called opposites or additive inverse. Ibig sabihin, they have the same distance from the 0 but a different sign. Okay, so if it is positive, it will become negative, and if it is negative, it will become a positive. So let's have here an example. The opposite of 6 is negative 6, and the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. Or we can say that the additive inverse of 6 is negative 6, and the additive inverse of negative 3 is positive 3. Do you understand? Okay, so when we say 0, the opposite of this one is itself. So hindi mo natin masasabi if it is positive or if it is a negative number. So let's proceed to absolute value. When we say absolute value, it tells how far from a 0 a number. It doesn't tell you which direction from 0. Or sa madaling salita, all the numbers are positive. Okay, so let's have the example. Number 1. Find the absolute value of negative 6. So I have here the representation na from 0, dahil negative 6 siya, hahanapin natin yung negative 6. Pumula kay 0 hanggang kay negative 6, ilang steps or ilang units ang meron tayo? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the absolute value of negative 6 is positive 6. Another example. The absolute value of positive 10. So we have here the representation of the drawing or the number line. So let's start on the 0 and count up to positive 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we have here 10 units or 10 steps from 0 up to positive 10. So the absolute value of positive 10 is a positive 10. Okay, next. So we have here what is the absolute value of negative 8. So again, from the 0, you're going to move up to negative 8, and we were just going to count how many units or how many steps from the 0. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the answer that we have is positive 8. Okay, next. So evaluate negative absolute value of 5. Remember that if a negative sign is outside the absolute value, it's not affected by the absolute value symbol. So kung nasa labas siya, ang gagawin mo lang is just to copy it on your final answer. Okay? So the distance of positive 5 to 0 is 5 units. So the answer is negative 5 because kinopya lang natin yung negative sign na nasa labas. Next example, negative absolute value of negative 5. Okay, merong negative sa labas, merong negative sa loob. Yung negative na nasa labas, just copy. Yung negative na nasa loob, yung gagalawin lang natin. Are we clear? Okay, so from the distance of negative 5 to 0, the answer is 5 units. So the answer is also negative 5. Are we clear? Okay, next. So evaluate the absolute value of negative 11 plus absolute value of 5. So the first thing that we need to do is to get the absolute value of negative 11 and positive 5. So from the distance of negative 11 to 0 is 11 units. And the distance of positive 5 to 0 is 5 units. So as we simplify, that is 11 plus 5. Then simplify or then add it together, 11 plus 5, that is 16. Next example, that is evaluate the absolute value of negative 13 minus absolute value of 2. So again, get the absolute value of the two numbers. The distance of negative 13 to 0, that is 13 units. And the distance of positive 2 to 0, that is 2 units. So that is 13 minus 2. So subtract them together, that is 13 minus 2, you will get positive 11. Okay, last example that we have is what is or are the positive values of b such that absolute value of b is equal to 9. So think a number that can be put it inside the absolute value para ang sagot nyo pa rin ay positive 9. What do you think? Okay, so the answer is positive 9 and negative 9. Yes, dalawa po ang sagot because the absolute value of positive 9 or the distance of positive 9 to 0 is 9 units. So the answer is 9. So same as also with the distance of negative 9 to the 0 is 9 units. So the answer is positive 9. That's it for this video. Now you're ready to answer your module and worksheets.